Tesla delivered an early Christmas gift in the form of a software update version 40.50.1. Tesla has delivered an early New Year's Day gift in the form of a software update version 40.50.5. I'm Frugal Tesla Guy, and I'm going to show you what those improvements are and how you can enjoy them. A few days before Christmas, Tesla attempted to get us all in the Christmas spirit by pushing a software update with some pretty exciting improvements. The problem is, the software developers must have been under a lot of pressure to get it out before Christmas. And unfortunately, version 40.50.1 was very buggy. So after I downloaded a software version 40.50.1, it's been buggy ever since. The maps were all over the place. I couldn't get any of the menu items to stay up long enough to press any commands. So I did a hard reboot and everything seemed to be fine after that. In fact, on my way back home from work, I was doing all kinds of voice commands and they were working great, one after another, no problems. So then I started working on my next video for YouTube and just highlighting this software update and came back into the car to do some examples of voice commands and suddenly it stopped working. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Open the glove box. So you can see right here, usually when you hesitate to say something after you press the command button for voice control, it will give you these different options on different things to say as if you're hesitating to say something. But if you notice right here, the green circle is pulsating, indicating that I can hear my voice. But it just doesn't seem to be registering in the computer. So let me try it again. Open the glove box. Once again, it doesn't seem to be working. And sometimes there'll be a long delay where after about 10, 15, even 20 seconds, out of nowhere, it will remember that command that I said and then do that command. So this is really an interesting bug. I wanted to see if there's anybody else that had this problem, and hopefully Tesla will come up with a fix soon. Now, it wasn't just voice commands either. Off the bat, I personally had issues with the touchscreen. The maps were moving and zooming in and out on their own, and I couldn't get any of the commands to work on the touchscreen. Now, after a reboot, those issues went away, but voice commands still had a lot of issues. There was also an issue with changing the phone contacts from last to first, and the screen would reboot after doing that. Then, a few days later, software version 40.50.5 was released. Now, voice commands was fixed, but unfortunately I'm still having problems with changing contacts from last to first. Now it continues to reboot and stays on last. I also noticed there isn't a way to access my favorite phone contacts as stated in the release notes. However, Tesla does state that Bluetooth behavior may depend on the make and model of your device. As with every software update, the first thing I do is carefully read the release notes to make sure I don't miss anything. So let's take a look at what's new and the steps that need to be taken to best utilize some of those changes. Open glove box. If you've used voice commands in a Tesla, then you know just how amazingly accurate it is. In fact, you can literally see the AI correct itself on the screen. For this reason, it seemed like Tesla wasn't really tapping into the big potential they have with voice commands. So with the latest software update, that's all changing. Not only with the new commands that have been added, but as Tesla states, anonymized voice commands will be captured to further train and improve the system in future software updates. Now this could mean a bigger list of voice commands to come. So let's take a look at some of the new ones that have been added. Open glove box. Set temperature to 70 degrees. Turn off climate control. Turn on driver's side seat heater. Lock doors. Unlock doors. So a few things I noticed with some of the new voice commands is that you can open up any of the menu items in this, as you can see on this screen here. So for example, open driving display. So then it goes to that driving display, and of course you can go to all the different settings. Open autopilot settings. Of course you can go there. What I also noticed in quick controls, most of those you can do a voice control for most of them. However, exterior lights I've noticed you can't. I didn't notice if you turn off front fog lights. It says that command is not available, but you can adjust the side mirrors. Adjust side mirrors. So then it takes you into that setting there. You can also unfold and fold the mirrors. Unfold side view mirrors. Fold mirrors. Going down the list here, you can also do the window lock. Turn on window lock. Turn off window lock. I also noticed that you cannot turn off the auto display brightness or set the display brightness, but for the most part, you can do a lot of the quick controls. As I mentioned, you can open up any of the menu items listed on here as well. You can also open up many of the menu items on the bottom as well. So for example, the energy consumption. What I'm going to do, show energy consumption. So then it opens up the energy consumption. So really what I've noticed is just kind of playing around with all the different commands. There are going to be some that you'll be surprised that are actually there. There'll be some that won't be there. But again, as indicated by Tesla's release notes, there will be improvements. And I do believe that in updates to come, we will see more commands added to the list.
Tesla has also added a voice keyboard that allows you to speak letters and numbers rather than typing on the virtual keyboard. Now this can be used in navigation and music searches and can be accessed by tapping the microphone icon on the keyboard.
As I mentioned, you can tap this microphone icon to activate the voice keyboard, but I can alternatively also use the right scroll wheel. So for example, if you are typing in or actually going to an address that the voice command may have a difficult time with, then you can use this. However, typically you can just say the address and it shouldn't be a problem. But again, if you run into problems, you can spell everything out. So let's give this a try. 1234 MAINST. So as you can see, it typed out 1234 Main Street. So of course I could have easily said that, but this is just to kind of give you an example that you can spell words out, and you can also give it numbers as well, and that's by using the virtual keyboard that we have right here. The same can be done when you're doing a search in music. So for example, again, we've got the virtual keyboard up here, so that means we will be able to access the voice virtual keyboard. So we've got the microphone here, or we can also tap the right scroll wheel. DEPECHEMODE. So instead of saying Depeche Mode, I spelled out the word Depeche Mode, and you can see it's giving me all the different Depeche Mode items in the menu. So kind of a nifty feature if it's having a difficult time recognizing what you're saying.
Hello?
The phone improvements are a big step in the right direction. There are a lot of people who would like to see Apple CarPlay in their Teslas. Now, one of those reasons is CarPlay's ability to read and respond to text messages. And now, Tesla offers the ability to do just that.
All right, so joining me now is my wife, Sadie, and we are going to do some texting experiments to see how it works. There are different ways you can use it, and so we're going to take a look at those. So I'm going to go ahead and set the camera up to point to the screen so we can see what's going on. All right, we are back. Now my wife is sending me a text message as we speak. Let's see what she has to say and see what happens in the car. So she sent it to my phone, and then through the phone, it then goes into the computer in the car. I can tap here or I can tap on the right. Let's tap it.
Sadie Kruger says you're the best.
Oh, isn't she sweet? Isn't she did she send me another message? So let's read that. So it looks like she sent me a heart emoji, and the only reason I know this is because I'm looking at her phone. But if I go in here and I go to, I can see that there's a heart emoji here, but it won't read it. So let's read this one.
Sadie Kruger says love you.
It says love you, and there is a heart emoji in there as well. Isn't she sweet? So let me go ahead and reply. I can either tap here to reply, or I can tap the right scroll wheel. I love you too. Heart emoji. Now, it won't do heart emojis, but if I want to send it, I can do that by tapping the right scroll wheel here. So it's sent to her, and it's successful. So as of right now, you can't do voice commands and do emojis. But there was another emoji that actually came on, and do the other one with the light bulb. There was one where she said it was, we'll see what it has to say here. So here it is. I'm tapping the right scroll wheel.
Sadie Kruger says great idea.
So what's interesting here, it says great idea, and you've got the light bulb emoji. So it does recognize some of the emojis that people are sending to you, but as of right now, it doesn't look like you can do any kind of response and give any kind of voice command with the voice emojis. Okay, so now we have a scenario where we are giving the voice to text and we don't like what we said. So I'm going to go ahead and tap this one right here.
Sadie Kruger says great idea.
Now I can tap here to tap to reply. I'm going to do that, or the right scroll wheel. Let's go ahead and just show you that this works too. I know, it is a great idea. I think it's fantastic. What a great idea. How wonderful is this? All right, so that's just like too rambly. I don't want to use this. So all I have to do right here in the bottom right, I tap it. I know, isn't this a great idea? This is so cool. Exclamation point. So it doesn't seem to want to accept exclamation points, so I'm just not going to go ahead and use that. I'm going to go ahead and tap that to her. And I'm going to send that message to her. And I know, isn't this a good idea? This is so cool. So there you go. So let's say you want to go and check all of your messages that are on your phone. One of the things that you have to remember is that it doesn't go through all and doesn't sync with all of the messages in your phone that you have. What it does is it remembers and keeps in its bank from that driving session. So once you get out of the car and the car turns off and then you get back in, it won't have those messages in there. But for now, I've still got the same session in here. So if I want to retrieve any of those messages during this session, I can tap right here, go into the phone icon, and this will show me all of the messages from Sadie Kruger here. So I can go to the last one that she sent me here, and I can just tap it.
Sadie Kruger says good Tesla Tech Talk.
I know, good Tesla Tech Talk. Isn't that pretty cool? So I can do a couple of things, right? I can respond to that, or let's say I want to have a couple of others read to me. I can tap this.
Sadie Kruger says love you.
Now, I notice when this card is still up, if I try to tap one of these others, it won't read it. You see how it's not responding? You've got to make sure that you swipe this one down, and then you can tap any of the others.
Sadie Kruger says good Tesla Tech Talk.
So you're going to swipe down.
Sadie Kruger says you're the best.
So that's how you can listen to all of the different messages, is you've got to make sure that this card on the very bottom left is either comes out on its own, because it will eventually do that, like you can see right there, or
Sadie Kruger says great idea.
You can swipe it down, and then you can go on to the next message as well. All right, after trying it again, it does recognize exclamation. I have a hard time saying it. Exclamation point. It does recognize that. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to this one.
Sadie Kruger says good Tesla Tech Talk.
I know, pretty cool, right? Question mark. So it recognizes question mark. I can do that. Or, I know, this is pretty cool, exclamation point. All right. Oh, that's interesting. So it didn't actually put the exclamation point in there, but it spelled out exclamation point. So that's kind of interesting. Let's try that again. I know, this is pretty cool, exclamation point. All right, so that time it did actually put the exclamation point in there for me. So again, it's still not perfect. I think it'll get better over time, but as of right now, pretty cool feature. This is just another added safety feature that Tesla keeps adding to the car. And again, I think this is going to get better over time the more and more people use it.
Now, in order for this feature to work, you will need to enable it first by tapping the Bluetooth icon in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and then sync messages. Now, once they're synced, you will also be able to toggle on Chime On New Message if you would like an audible alert when you receive a new message. Now, make sure you also enable notifications on your phone. If you own a Tesla Model S or an X, camp mode is nothing new to you. However, if you own a Tesla Model 3, it hasn't been offered up until this latest update. Now, my wife has actually asked me why camp mode would be useful. It's not like we're going to be doing a lot of camping in this car. And while that may be true, you may still spend a long period of time in the car and may still want to keep the heater on or charge your devices. So right now, as Aiden and I are sitting back here in the back seat, we've already noticed that it didn't take long for the car to turn off. The monitor turned off, the heater turned off. So if you are going to be in the car for a prolonged period of time, maybe taking a nap in the back seat, or maybe you are going to camp out and sleep in the car overnight, camp mode is a great feature. It allows you to tap in to the great source, the battery source you have in the car. So it allows you to do a lot of things, such as keeping the heater on a cold night, or keeping the AC on a hot summer night. It also allows you to continue to tap into the USB ports so you can still plug in your different devices, maybe charge them. And for example, if you do have an air mattress, you can use this air pump. It's got a 12-volt adapter on it that will allow you to blow up this mattress here. It also will keep the monitor on, so you can use it to play music, or if you happen to have LTE service or even Wi-Fi, you could use it to watch a movie late at night before you fall asleep and go to bed. And of course, as Aiden remembers, we did spend that night on our long road trip at a campsite. And again, probably not the best night's sleep, but in a bind, it's something you could do. So camp mode is certainly a great new feature that I think a lot of people have been hoping for, and now it has finally been added. So I guess now all that we need at this point is maybe a little kitchenette or maybe a porta potty. Probably not. To turn on camp mode is actually quite simple. All you have to do is tap the fan icon, and you can see where it says off. You go all the way to the right and you turn camp on. You toggle camp. And at the very bottom of the screen, it will say camp mode. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that if your car reaches 20% or less, all of these features such as camp mode will be turned off and disabled. Being able to watch Netflix, Hulu, or YouTube has been a great new feature that was added earlier this year. Now, a new app has been added to the list, making many Twitch fans happy. Now, just as you would with the other Tesla Theater apps, you access Twitch the same way by tapping the entertainment icon and then the theater tab. You will then see the Twitch app in there. For all of you gaming fans out there, Tesla has added 2 new games to help pass the time while you're supercharging or just waiting in the car in general: Stardew Valley and Backgammon. And for the musically talented and even not so musically talented, you can test your skills by creating musical masterpieces with Tracks. It's an app that allows you to lay down different tracks with different instruments, allowing you to be as creative as you'd like. To tap into your musical side, go into the application launcher, tap Toy Box, and you will see the Tracks icon. And once you're done with your piece, you can save it and load it along with others and play whenever you'd like. What I love about this new feature is it's an attempt to make sure you save the dash cam footage after an accident or a close call. Up until now, if you wanted to save dashcam footage, you needed to tap the dashcam icon. Now it will save automatically for you once you honk the horn. To activate this feature, tap the car icon, Safety and Security, then Save Clips on Honk. Now this is certainly a lot easier to do, especially when you're really trying to pay attention to the road. If you happen to be from Denmark or you speak Danish, well, you're in luck, because now you can select Danish as your language in your Tesla. Now to update your language setting, tap the car icon, Display, and then select your desired option for your language. And in this case, it would be Danish. I have also seen rolling around on Twitter that this is also the update that visualizes stop signs and traffic lights on the screen if you have V3 hardware. Now, since I'm still on V2.5, I can't confirm those reports, but I'm sure they're true. A few more navigation settings will be saved to your driver profile, such as the volume levels for navigation, as well as traffic display settings. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this is another big improvement to the car. And one of my favorites is the expansion on voice commands. The more I experiment with it, the more commands I'm finding, and I'd love to hear not only some of the commands you discovered, but others you'd like to see in future updates. So that's a quick look at Tesla software version 40.50.1, version 40.50.5. Now, if you found this informational, be sure to give it a like and a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already and would like to support this channel, you can click the subscribe button below. So as usual, thank you all so much for watching, and until my next video, stay positively charged.
My butt's cold.
My butt cold? Oops. Should we try it? Let's try it again.
My butt is cold.
Oh, look, it turned on mine. It didn't turn on yours, though. How about... Ooh, there's something about this looks like bacon. So should we like... Give me some bacon. Command is not understood. Give me 2 slices of bacon. It wants to call somebody?
The passenger's side butt is cold.
Wait, let's try that. Let me turn it on.
The passenger's butt is cold.
Oh, so it turned on all of them. Let's see if it turned every single one. Oh, just the 2 front. Turn off seat heaters. Set driver seat to 2 bacon.
Set passenger seat to 3 bacon.
Boom, there it is. Turn on wipers to 3. Turn off wipers. What's in my glove box? Apparently we have incense in my glove box from an old trip. You forgot that was all in there. Crazy.